All right, hey everyone. Just a quick short video, just some thoughts. Crappy cell phone quality here, but maybe I'll turn this into a more full-fledged video someday. Just note to self, regarding a question I keep seeing pop up time and time again on places like Reddit and Quora in regards to videography. The question I keep seeing come up is, what resolution and frame rate should I be shooting in? Common resolutions. No one really shoots 480 anymore. Sometimes you see 720 still floating around, but I think these days it comes down to 1080, which is full HD. Frame rates being 24, 30, and 60 commonly. And then you got 4K. Again, frame rates being 24, 30, and if you're lucky enough, maybe 60 frames per second at 4K. I'm gonna go with one of my thoughts and what seems to be the general consensus. 1080p is still great. By all means, if you want to deliver on 4K, go for it. But my understanding is even when 4K is the delivery, sometimes the source footage is still 1080. So you have a lot of people taking 1080 and upscaling to 4K for delivery when 4K is requested. 1080 looks great. The reason I like 1080 still these days is the volume in which I'm pumping out videos is fairly high, and 1080 is going to be a lot more easily storable for the long term than 4K. 4K takes up a lot of hard drive space, and hard drive space is money. And again, 1080 looks great in most cases, so why not stick with it? With that being said, in terms of resolution, I do see a benefit to 4K. In a recent video I shot, I used 4K against a green screen. I have yet to test 1080 versus 4K on the green screen to see if the results are substantial, but my thinking was, I haven't really done green screen in a long time, and back when I used to do it in college, I was never happy with the results. Back then we were shooting 480 60i, interlaced. It was horrible. I'm very pleased with how green screen comes out these days. But anyway, I for my first video with green screen, I wanted to stick to 4K because I thought it would give me the best shot at getting good results. The other thing I can see 4K being beneficial in regards to, and this is a space investment, I would say. So I'm thinking, like, in terms of shooting an interview, like say a 2-person interview sitting at a coffee table, one camera A on the interviewer or the subject, and vice versa, camera B on the other person. Where 4K is going to be beneficial in a case like that is, yes, maybe it's taking up 4 times the space. Don't quote me on that. I don't know how much exactly more space it takes up, but I do know it takes up more space. But let's just say 4 times the space, just throwing it out there. Anyway, say it's taking up 4 times the space, or 5 times the space, whatever it is. Where it's going to be beneficial is I can now get a lens that's going to be either like a normal lens or even a wide lens. Let's say normal. We get a full body shot of each subject. So one camera gets a full body shot and the other camera gets a full body shot. Now, shooting at 4K, that will be 100% sufficient. With 4K, I can now drop it on a 1080p timeline, and I can either form that full shot and downscale it to the 1080p timeline, or if I really want, I can kind of zoom in and crop, and I can get varying shots of each subject. And now I don't need to have multiple cameras with multiple lenses, one a close-up, one a medium shot, and one a wide shot. I can actually take that one shot and get any shot I want. I can get the wide shot of the person, I can get a medium shot, I can get a close-up. So that is an investment. Yes, I am using more space on the hard drive and on the file, taking up more space on my memory card, but it's an investment because I'm really now on one file and one camera and one shot. I can now do the work of what might have been 3 shots. So it's an investment in that regard. Now, so that's 4K versus 1080. Are you going to get a shot? It's kind of like a one-time deal. And, whatever your framing is, you're going to go with it. Or do you want to take a 4K image and give yourself flexibility to get, a wide shot and a zoomed in shot, all within one, so that would be my thought on, 4K versus 1080. Now in terms of frame rate, you have like 24p, 30p, and 60p. Reading through the interwebs, when I was in college, obviously 60i was, interlaced was the most common that you'd find on a lot of cameras. And then when they got progressive, they started doing like 30p. Actually 24p seems to be pretty big still. And it was really just, back when I was in college, you had the, Canon XL2, I believe it was. That was like revolutionary. It had 24p, the DVX100, which actually I think came before the Canon XL2. That was 24p. Huge deal back then because that is what Hollywood cinema, used for their 35mm cameras back in the day. It was like the golden, the golden standard. So people were huge on that. But anyway, general consensus of the interwebs from what I could see is a lot of people now are not a fan of 30p. They're basically, okay, you either shoot 24p or 60p. 24p, the advantage of it over 30p is it's less frames. So therefore it's going to take up less hard drive space. That's a bonus for me. When you're dealing with hours worth of footage on your hard drive, it's better off having less hard drive space being used. So 24p seems to be, my ideal target. So ignore 30p, shoot 24p, whether it's 4K 24 or 1080 24. Now the other factor is 60p. When would you do that? I see a lot of videographers say always shoot 60p, and the reason they want you to always shoot 60p is because now you have flexibility to speed up your footage, slow it down. You can do whatever. You can convert it to 24p if you want, but you can also use it for slow motion. You can set it for 80% speed and make it a little slow, or you could set it for like 20% speed and make it really slow looking. That's why they tell you to shoot 60p. Now 60p is going to take up more space on your hard drive. So on that regard, I would say the other consensus online is for any of your cameras shooting with audio, or like voice. So if it's an actor or like a subject, um, like like an interview subject, anything with voice or audio, go right for the 24p. Audio based shots are going to be at normal speed. You're not going to be slowing them down, speeding them up. And you know, even though you can match 60p to 24p, you know, there's always people that say, well, the audience might not know the difference, but you might, because, you know, when you translate frame rate, it's not always going to be 100% perfect. So why not just shoot in the native format you intend to display the video in? So, so 24p for you know, A shots, you know, basically, again, anything with audio or voice. Now, with B footage, so extra footage, you know, like anything without voice or sound, you know, that is where, you know, people are suggesting to shoot 60p always. Because if you shoot 24p, you're not going to get any good results, you know, slowing the footage down to slow-mo. 60p will give you the option to do that if you weren't anticipating wanting to do it and then you decided later on. At least you have the option. So again, long story short, this is just a quick note to self video. Maybe I'll do something a little crazier in the future with more, you know, more effort. Right now, I'm just note to self with my cell phone camera. But yeah, so long story short, end of the day, I'm gonna say any footage with sound or dialogue, shoot 24 frames per second. Any B footage that doesn't have dialogue or sound, these are just like insert shots, shoot 60p to give yourself the option to slow it down if you want. And as far as 1080 versus 4K, I think 1080 looks great. So if you are taking shots and you are very happy with the framing and you don't want the option to mess with that framing too much, shoot 1080. You can always upscale it to 4K for delivery and it's still going to look good. Don't forget, back in the day, I mean, most 35 millimeter film printed and displayed out in the theaters, I mean, even though it's 35 millimeter film, by the end of the day, you know, is maybe equal to like 600, 700 lines of resolution. 1080 is great. You can definitely blow that up to a movie theater. I've done it for short films 10 to 15 years ago when I was in college. And 4K, again, I would recommend that if you want to take one shot, say a wide shot, and then later reframe that into other shots to keep things interesting. So that's my thought. 24p for main camera, 60p for B camera type of stuff, and 1080 if you're happy with the one shot you got, 4K if you want to take one shot and reframe it and get maybe 3 or 4 different shots out of that one shot. It's an investment in that case. Edit on a 1080 timeline and then maybe upscale to 4K if that's your prerogative. But those are just my thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts. So comment below with your thoughts. I'd like to know what your background is in video and, you know, all that good stuff. You know, this is just kind of stuff I'm seeing around the web. So again, just a quick little video. Hasn't been too quick. I took 15 minutes almost. But again, maybe I'll do a little higher quality video later on. But anywho, that is it for now. Good to see y'all. And like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.